Okay, in this video, we want to solve this particular integral right here, and in the description box of this video, there are two playlists. One playlist has categorized integral problems, and the other playlist has random integral problems. And so let's begin. So we're dealing with an absolute value for our integral, and it's important to understand how absolute values behave. It's like a piecewise function. The absolute value of x is like x whenever x is greater than or equal to 0, and it's like negative x whenever x is less than 0. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's say x is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 2 is greater than 0. If I put a 2 here, I have a 2. Let's try negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. If x is less than 0, so negative 2 as an example, negative 2 is also a positive 2. So it's important whenever you see an absolute value for definite integrals to understand how is our problem going to behave. So let's draw it out. So for sine, this coordinate, everything is positive. Sine, cosine, tangent. So you put A for all. And this coordinate is only positive for sine, and this coordinate is only positive for tan, and this coordinate is only positive for cosine. Right here it's 0, 2 pi. This is pi over 2, this is pi, and this is 3 pi over 2. With that, our problem is from 0 to 5 pi over 4. So from 0 all the way to pi, sine would be positive. Now, from pi to 5 pi over 4 right here, it's going to be negative. However, our problem, we have the absolute value. So we have to take that into consideration. So what we need to do is split up our integral into two definite integrals. We have from 0 to pi for sine parentheses x dx plus the definite integral from pi to 5 pi over 4. But it's different. This coordinate's negative, so you'll say negative sine parentheses x dx. And the integral of sine x is negative cosine x, and it goes from 0 to pi. And the integral again of sine x is negative cosine x, but you have a negative, so it's going to be a plus cosine x from pi to 5 pi over 4. Now all we have to do is swap. So I have negative cosine parentheses pi minus another minus, I'll put another minus, cosine parentheses 0. Let's put a parentheses around them. Then we have to do this piece. So plus parentheses cosine 5 pi over 4, close parentheses, minus cosine parentheses pi, close parentheses. So now we have to do each piece. So cosine pi is negative 1, but you have a negative right here, so it becomes a positive 1. A minus minus is positive, so plus, and cosine 0 is 1, so we have plus 1, parentheses, plus, let's do this piece. Again, cosine 5 pi over 4. We can use our little chart. All students take calculus. Some people use that to remember. So 5 pi over 4 is right here. It's only positive for tan, so for cosine it would be negative. And cosine pi over 4 is the square root of 2 divided by 2. So we're going to get negative the square root of 2 divided by 2. And cosine pi is negative 1, but you have a negative right here, so plus 1. We can clean up a little bit by getting a common denominator. This is a 2, and 1 plus 1 is 2. If you want to have a common denominator, let's say 4 divided by 2 plus, or you have a minus, so minus the square root of 2 divided by 2. And 1, you could say it's going to be plus 2 divided by 2. 4 plus 2 is 6, so we get 6 divided by 2. We also have negative the square root of 2 divided by 2, so you can put a negative the square root of 2. This right here is our final answer. And that's all we need to do for this problem.